What if I told you the British public were deliberately managed into accepting mass immigration before it even happened? Sounds like a conspiracy theory, doesn't it? Except this one isn't. It's real, and it's straight from Tony Blair's own government documents, declassified and damning. Back in 2004, just weeks before Britain flung open its borders to millions from Eastern Europe, Blair was handed a 15-page secret strategy paper by then Home Secretary David Blunkett. Its title, Having a Sensible Conversation About Migration. But what it actually reveals is anything but sensible. It's not a policy review, it's a psychological playbook, a guide on how to manipulate public perception of immigration. This wasn't about better border management, it was about narrative control. So let's get into the detail. Blair's team already knew public opinion was skeptical. He called the polling data pretty grim, but utterly believable. Focus groups said our borders felt open and overrun, that British tolerance was being abused, that we don't have an effective immigration policy. So in 2004, the public were warning of cracks, but instead of fixing the policy, the government chose to fix the optics. Lord Blunkett's document even carried the warning. This research could be explosive in the wrong hands. And now it's in yours. So what did they actually plan to do? Well, the strategy revolved around repackaging immigration, selling it like a brand. It advised against open honesty, suggesting the government drip feed statistics rather than release them all at once. They feared the media admitting asylum had become front-page tabloid material, but instead of addressing the public's concerns like social pressure, housing shortages, NHS strain, they worked on how to make us feel differently about it. And a graphic from the document shows an eyeball staring at a wall of hostile words, scroungers, bogus, out of control. Behind that wall, a happy multiracial Britain, the big picture as they called it. And their conclusion? The challenge is finding new ways to package and communicate these issues. In other words, don't change the policy, change the way people see the policy. And here's the kicker. This wasn't just a theory sitting in a drawer. The plan landed on Blair's desk mere weeks before Britain voluntarily opened its borders to 8 new EU member states from Eastern Europe: Poland, Hungary, Latvia, Lithuania, Slovakia, Slovenia, Estonia, and the Czech Republic. You see, most EU countries imposed transitional controls. Britain did not. And the result, over 1 million arrivals within a few years, net migration soared, and with it, a rapid and irreversible demographic shift. And the document acknowledged something crucial. Most people weren't racist. They were just worried, and they felt silenced. Focus groups said back then they were scared to voice concerns without being called bigots. They felt multiculturalism was being undermined by uncontrolled migration, but Blair's team didn't care. Their approach was to correct misconceptions, not reconsider policy. If people feared being overrun, that was just a PR problem. If people were worried about wages, crime, and the NHS, they just didn't understand the big picture Labour had. So let's stop pretending this was some innocent mistake. This was intentional, planned, and deliberate. They didn't misread the public, they overruled us. From 2004 onwards, Britain underwent a transformation, quietly engineered without debate or vote. By 2007, the cultural shift was already visible. By 2010, irreversible. And this was what sparked the referendum on the EU. Critics now call it a silent revolution, a total reshaping of Britain, socially, economically, and demographically. And we've been told to just go along with it or else. So what happened in the years that followed? We are seeing it live today. Let's look at one area no one wants to talk about: crime. specifically sexual assault. In 2005, the sexual assault rate in England and Wales was around 25 per 100,000 people. By 2022, it's 117 per 100,000. That's a five-fold increase in less than 20 years. Meanwhile, the conviction rate plummeted from 5 to 6% in 2005 to just 2.6% today. Now, correlation doesn't always mean causation, but researchers across Europe have flagged a pattern. Cultural attitudes brought in with migration, particularly from conservative, patriarchal societies, can clash dramatically with Western norms. And one review of crime pattern data revealed this chilling stat. Afghan men are estimated to be 22 times more likely to commit sexual offences than UK-born men. That's not pub talk, that's drawn from cross-country European crime analysis. Let's be absolutely clear. This isn't about fear-mongering, it's about transparency, honesty, the strategy that was put in place. You were never told the full truth. And governments under both Labour and the Conservatives brushed off concerns as right-wing hysteria. They labelled critics racist and still do today. They censored discussion and still do today. They hid data. They chose transformation over consultation. And that 2004 document, it wasn't just a strategy for that year. It became a blueprint for the 21st century. And we are seeing the same playbook repeated today. Public worry, call it misinformation. Cultural concerns, label them xenophobic. Want a real conversation? You're just divisive. They haven't changed tactics, they've just refined them. This was not a policy failure. It was a manipulative success, a top-down decision to change Britain forever while pretending it was just progress. And now the question we all need to ask is this: how many other sensible conversations have already been scripted before we even got a say? Because if they did it once, they can, have, and likely will do it again.